This is Kelso Surgeon. Welcome to another day at my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping. This is my NFL report for Sunday. I have a lot to talk about and get right with it in just a moment. As far as for my betting menu today, going for another 50-unit NFL game of the week. I got a push last week with the Dallas Cowboys at San Francisco, but 4-0-1 with my last 50-unit plays. And more interestingly, for my personal best club players who went 2-0-1 last week, those betting $100 a unit, which I recommend for them, banked $10,000. Not a bad weekend for anybody. My Chairman's Club is releasing a 25-unit situation play today. My Best Bets Club, which went 6-2 overall last week, is releasing 3 more games in the NFL, and I was 2-1 in the NFL last week, winning with a couple of underdogs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons then on Sunday night, intend to go 3-0 today. Now all of these games are available on this website right now, and toll free at 1-800-755-2255 at my office. I do accept all major credit cards, and for the record, I'm having a dynamite football season. I invite you to get on board and enjoy this money. Now let's talk about some of the games today. First of all, let me give you a general warning here. There's rain all over the country. Whether it's going to impact any particular game that you want to bet on, you need to check the weather forecast at the game site, period. When I say all over the country, there's rain, I only think there were 2 or 3 games in which some percentage of rain wasn't forecasted. Mostly it was 65 to 80% in the other places, so check it out. Now, very interestingly, the big money and the smart money has shown on the Buffalo Bills over the New England Patriots today. This number was 9.5 at one time. It's down to 8 and 7.5 in some places. Somebody knows something you and I don't know. I call this a betting alert. The money, the smart money, went down early on the Buffalo Bills in this game. Pay attention, do a little digging for yourself, because I certainly did. And by the way, if you're one of those people who thinks the Kansas City Chiefs are not as bad as they look, you are an individual in denial. This team is absolutely terrible with a coach that has absolutely no idea what he's doing. You know, here's a team that opened with a 41-7 loss. The Buffalo came right back last week, went to Detroit, got beat 48-3. And now they go into today's game with San Diego, where they're a 14.5-point underdog, without the only good offensive player they had, running back Jamal Charles, who rushed for 1,467 yards last season. You know, here's a team, the Chiefs, averaging 5 points a game and 240 yards on offense. They're giving up 44 points a game, make that 44.5, and 387 yards on defense. This is a nothing football team, and they're catching the San Diego Chargers coming off a loss at New England last week. Now, who do I like in this game? Let me just say this. Do some thinking for yourself. You do the math. Now, in St. Louis, there's a lot of chatter about the Rams being 0-2. I don't think that's surprising. I think they would have been 0-2 no matter what happens. But, you know, today they might get running back Steven Jackson back. He was listed as questionable all week. A man told me this morning he's going to be a game-time decision. But, you know, here's a team that's lost to Philadelphia, a very good team, 31-13. They came back on Monday night, got beat by the Giants 28-16. And it's not that they're a bad football team, it's just they're making the killer mistakes. Get these figures here. They lost 2 fumbles in the first 2 games that were returned for touchdowns. They fumbled 6 times, they've lost 3. They've been penalized 17 times for 145 yards. These are game-winning killers. St. Louis will be a better team if it gets itself together and starts playing fundamental football and with a bit more efficiency. You can't fumble that many times, turn the ball over that many times, have that many penalties and expect to beat a good football team. And it's also important to note that that the Rams are 1-5 in their last 6 games dating back to last season. A lot of question here. Be very careful in this one as they take on the Baltimore Ravens today. Green Bay at Chicago, always an interesting game. Interesting note here, if you're one who lives and dies with historical data, the underdog is covered 6 out of 7 times in the last game, in the last 7 games. Interesting fact. Green Bay lost in Chicago last season, 20-17 as a 3-point favorite. Came back in the last game of the season and beat the Bears 10-3 in Green Bay as a 10-point favorite. The Packers have beaten New Orleans and Carolina. The Bears have beaten Atlanta and lost to New Orleans. A fascinating game. You got to dig deep to find the winner, the point spread winner in this one. These teams, one of the great rivalries in football, and they do go after one another. I have no opinion on the game myself. Once again, you need to check the weather, and you need to check the injury reports. Let me run down the injury reports here. Houston, running back Arian Foster, hamstring injury, questionable for the game against New Orleans today. The Philadelphia Eagles, Michael Vick's, concussion or not, will start and play against the Giants. Denver, running back Noshawn Marino, hamstring, will come back and play this week, as will wide receiver Brandon Lloyd. 2 key guys back for Denver. Kansas City, as I said earlier, Jamal Charles out for the season, a deadly blow for a Kansas City team that had no offense to start with. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, running back Felix Jones, shoulder, extremely doubtful for the Monday night game. Wide receiver Miles Austin, hamstring, downgraded to doubtful for the Monday night game. But, surprise of all, quarterback Tony Romo, who suffered a broken rib and a punctured lung last week, will be back. He will play, and he will start, and you can bet he'll be the most comfortable player on the football field. Percodan does that to everybody. It's a fascinating day in the NFL today. I intend to have a big one myself. I hope you do too. I invite you to join me for all my best bet plays of the day. I think I just might sweep the board. I'm having a great season. There's no reason to think that I can't do it. Remember, all of my selections are available on this site and toll-free at 1-800-755-2255. Have a good one, and let's go get the money.